Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are featuring a Sinn. This is the 556 Black Mother of Pearl. And basically the 556 is Sinn's entry level watch. But there are various different kind of, different models of different variations, different flavors of the 556, and I believe this is pretty well top tier. I think this is the actual top one. It's featured here on this fine link bracelet, but you can also get it on the H link. You can also get it on a fabric strap as well, but in this kind of version we have here, this is pretty well cream of the crop. And unfortunately, the lights I've got on this don't do that dial any justice at all. You have to be outside to really appreciate just how fantastic this dial is. But before I get too far into this review, I've got to say a massive thank you to the team over at First Class Watches of Kenilworth for allowing me to review this piece. Loads of stock, loads of kind of unusual brands you don't always see in many of the other kind of shops. So if you're in the Midlands area, I'd strongly recommend popping into the shop. If you're a little bit further afield, but don't worry, because I'll leave a link in the description and at the bottom of the page now. All I ask, if you do contact them, please mention the channel, as it really would help. So let's talk sizes first. This is a 38.5mm case size. It actually looks a little bit bigger because obviously it's all dial and there's no bezel on there. The thickness of this model, I'm measuring at 11.1mm, and the lug to lug, so the longest point across the watch, is a respectable 45.5, and the bracelet size on this one is 20mm. Now, the dial. It's one of these, I wish, you have to see it outside, because to all intents and purposes, for 90% of the time you look at this and you think it's a kind of, what is it, a very dark grey, but catch it in those certain lights and you just get bombarded with different colours. It really does look good, and it's got depth, being its mother of pearl. What I like is the Sinn logo and the automatic in Deutsch down there. When you catch them in certain lights, they just look like they're hovering above the dial, because the dial has that much kind of hues going on to it, and it looks really good. The hand setup and markers on here are basically from the I model. So that means these sword hands here have been laser cut. They are rhodium plated, and so you get an amazing shine on them. What's really nice is, as you see the actual second hand gliding over those raised applied hour markers, you get to see a reflection of it as it does so, and it does look really good. The loom's pretty good, to be fair. Maybe not quite as strong as like say the I model, as the A model we have over here, because the simple fact is there is less of it, but it's still very good nonetheless. Overall, I just like the simpleness of this dial. I like the fact we have only got Sinn automatic, and down the bottom made in made in Germany. So it's simple, and I do appreciate that. I think it looks good. As we come past this, we are featuring a sapphire crystal. It's a flat sapphire, but it does have AR coating on both sides, and to be fair, when it's outside, it does a pretty good job of stopping most of the reflections. The bezel on this watch, I believe it's actually fixed. I'm not 100% sure. Oh no, it looks like it has been split, but it is a solid bracelet, and it is bezel, and it is simply a brush finish, which is kind of perfect on this watch because it is a real tool watch, and that's what I kind of like. It, if it was all polished, it just wouldn't have the same vibe, I don't think. We have a satinized finish going on here. We have a slight dip coming down on the lugs, and we do have drilled lugs, which does make it far easier to change the bracelet or strap. Over on this side, we've got a nice prominent crown guards, but we do have a very user-friendly crown, which has been signed. It is a screw-down crown, because this watch actually does have 200 meters of water resistance. I believe it's also low pressure, but I have to double check that. As you can see, pops out nicely and goes straight into handset. There is no ghost date on this one, and screws in nice. So as we come round to the back, this is one of the newer models, so we do have the rhodium plated rotor on there. I know some people prefer the old brass coloured one, as we can see featured there. But there's something really clean about this, the rhodium one on here. And after all, rhodium plating does actually cost more than the brass one. We do have the blued screws as well. The contrast against the silver looks really, really good. The movement is the SW200. I did put this on the time grapher, and I think it was coming in plus 5. I think it was plus 4.5 or 5. I can't remember exactly. They do use top grade movement, so generally the timekeeping on all of the Sinns I've come across has always been to within chronometer specs anyway. So they do a very good job of the regulating of that. The power reserve is around about up to say 40 hours, 26 joule. It's a solid movement. The only thing I would say is if you just pick the watch up and it hasn't been running, maybe just give it 4, maybe 6 turns and let your wrist do the rest. Simple as that. You don't want to be over winding these movements. But the same on most automatic movements, because basically the mainspring slips as it goes around a barrel. And if you keep winding it and winding it, you're constantly causing that to slip, and you are going to be causing more wear to that barrel. So do bear that in mind. The bracelet on this, as I say, is the fine link. But what they've done on the 556 is they've fully brushed it. I've got a couple of fine link bracelets and they do have some polishing on there. It does look good, but how they do it on the 556 is fully brushed. As you can see here on this one as well, I've got this one on the fine link just to kind of show the two difference. And yeah, really very cool. I must say the mother of pearl actual dial does bring it up around about £150 more than a standard model, but you are getting that amazing dial. But yeah, that is one of the things there. The fine link itself is, I think, a really super comfortable bracelet. It features their Allen key. It features basically these hex keys instead of your standard screws, and it has got the butterfly clasp on it. I've still got the plastic on here. As you can see, the way of adjusting it is with half links. So some people might like that, some people don't. You know, hit and miss really. Twin pusher arrangement on there, overall superb. Let me put it on my wrist so you got an idea. Oh, another watch to compare it, just while I've got these out here, is the daddy of them all, the 656. I know the numbers do not make sense, but that's these three, 556, 556 and a 656. Basically very, very cool. So anyway, put a quick wrist check with zoom out. I'm wearing my Pekine Royal Manual. Absolutely gorgeous watch, as you can see. And Bob, now Bob's gone a little bit different here. This is an Archimedes Flieger 200. This is the first time I've actually, had one on the channel, and the review for that will be coming very soon. I might even do a comparison with a 556 because, that they are very kind of similar watches. But anyway, my wrist size is 7¼ inches. Works out to about 18.5 centimeters, and that's it on my wrist. I love the 556. I may be being biased here, but I really do like the 556. I think it is absolutely superb. It's a great all-round watch. Strongly recommend it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you to it with that, but most importantly, you all stay safe out there. See you at the next review. Take care. Bye.